Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is the latest edition of Asian Persuasion MMA podcast. Myself, Leon Jennings, as usual, Akhilesh, Gannavarapu, and our special guest, Malaysian MMA royalty, Ting. How you doing, Ev?
Guys? What's up, Leon? What's up, Akhilesh? Thank you for having me on the show. And it's good times. Fight week in Kuala Lumpur.
Thank you for joining us. We'll talk about your fight initially, but let's talk about Kuala Lumpur this weekend. How excited are you for the card?
Man, what a fight card we have. I mean, we got Aguilan headlining in the main event against a tough Sebastian. And we also have Keanu Suba fighting a tough Chinese fighter. So, good vibes to them. And I know they've put in the good work. So it's just about getting out there and putting on a good show for everybody. And on the card, there's also a few kickboxing and high contender matchups. So I'm just glad that I fought a couple of weeks ago and I can enjoy some fights. But, man, I wish I was on this card, man. I was ready to go and I was messaging him. But, I didn't get on. But here I am and I'm going to enjoy some fights.
And it was about
why couldn't you get on the card?
Oh, sorry.
Why couldn't you? I mean, obviously you wanted to be on the card. You didn't fight that long ago. Was it one that didn't want you to fight?
I think it was just for good potential matchups. I think it was better to just wait for the champ or for the interim title or whatever is clever, really.
Okay, and I've covered one championship fights before. Leon has done that. The one thing that I haven't done is cover one championship card when you had both MMA and kickboxing fights on the same card. From a fighter's perspective, how different, how refreshing is it to see both striking as well as MMA?
I mean, obviously, mixed martial arts is a very complete form of art. It's very complete. So when you're talking about kickboxing or jiu-jitsu or let's say even tennis or swimming, these are very limited movements in comparison to the complete mixed martial arts. So I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, I stand by the sport MMA. I mean, whether it's in a cage or a ring, and all these people are coming into my cage with big gloves and limiting the rules. I mean, I don't know what's going on. But I love the sport, and I'm just glad that everyone's getting opportunities to compete.
Right, and MMA is growing in KL, in Malaysia, and obviously in New Zealand as well. And you train out of different gyms. So can you just give us a brief, introspective about you training in New Zealand? How big of a sport MMA is right now over there, and how it's going in Malaysia as well?
So the comparison, if you're comparing with just New Zealand and Malaysia, it's kind of very different. I mean, we both have a long kickboxing history, Muay Thai history, but in regards of mixed martial arts, New Zealand will be far ahead in regards of just the fighters and development. However, Malaysia has had a super boost of development, especially with the events such as Myanmar Invasion, and one championship coming into town. So they've had a very fast and quick launch to the industry. So, and it's showing for it. I mean, like we have Aguilan, the Suba brothers, we got Ayman, and including myself. I mean, we're getting these huge platforms to showcase our skills and everybody who we represent. So, I mean, big things. I mean, New Zealand is definitely on another level at the moment in regards of in regards of the wholesome of the game. But I mean, I'm just glad I can be a part of it. I mean, we have our camp out in Bali MMA also, where now we have a New Zealand team, Chinese team, Malaysian team, and an Indonesian team. So I'm connecting all the dots here, and it all links back to my home gym, Auckland MMA, which is back in Auckland, New Zealand, and that's where it all started. And man, I cannot give enough credit to my home gym.
Brilliant. It's a bit of a friendly competition between you and the other Malaysian fighters about who's going to become the first Malaysian One Championship champion. There's two or three of you that are kind of knocking on the door.
I mean, if that's really what matters, that title or credit, then man, they can have it. But man, I'm about just fighting the best people in the world and proving to the world that I belong at the top. And I mean, it's all about testing my skills. I mean, the champion is a nice luxury, but I'm about the pain business.
Right, and you're on a 3-fight win streak as well. And things are very interesting right now in one championship, with us having super fights, champions fighting champions. So can you give us your take on what you think about these super fights? Fighters, champions moving either upper weight class or down a weight class to fight other champions.
Correct. I mean, it's becoming a trend in UFC. It started off with Connor. I mean, if you want to go way back, BJ Penn. And it was obviously a kind of a Western trend. And then one started having the opportunity to do such a promotion and to follow that trend and see how it goes. But yeah, I mean, it's happened before in boxing, so it's not too surprising, and it's just part of the path for them, I guess.
And
what's your take on Martin?
Yeah, sorry, just a follow-up to that. Is it kind of irritating because you, again, are on the cusp of getting another title shot, but when you get there, you have to see the champ going after another champ. Does it kind of frustrate you as a fighter?
Yeah, I know where you guys are getting to now. I mean, I mean, absolutely, man. I mean, like, it's no surprise that there is a roadblock, an obstacle, a speed bump, or whatever you want to call it in the division. I mean, we have some serious contenders lining up and training hard every day. But with such a roadblock, I mean, it devalues our work and it kind of takes away a little bit from what we're trying to achieve here in the division. But much respect to the champion. I mean, he's doing everything right on his terms. So he's yeah, I can't bump him, but like to be honest, I mean, I know where you guys are leading to, but before we get there, I mean, let's look at the timeline a little bit. He got the featherweight championship, one fight. He got the lightweight shot right away.
Yeah. And
then he got another shot at the bantamweight title.
Yeah.
And now they've created another title, interim title for him. So that's four title fights in 5 fights. And yeah, I mean it does take away a little bit from some of us, but in saying so, I mean, I'm due for my shot, so it's really up to him to defend that title or otherwise vacate it for me and Timothy, because that's where the real big boys are playing.
Do you think that's going to be your next fight for the lightweight belt?
I mean, that's the only one that makes sense. I mean, he's the only other guy that's lining up and has proved himself to be a lightweight contender. So absolutely. I mean, for the vacated one championship world title, let's go. I mean, at least the interim. But yeah, I mean, let's see. I mean, we'll get Timothy a drug test and make sure he's not taking those protein shakes, and then I think we're good to go.
Right, F. So this is a subject that I wanted to talk to a lot of one championship fighters about, because unlike UFC or Bellator or any other MMA promotion, it's a holistic approach when you're scoring as a judge in one championship. For a close fight, you've had split decision wins, you've had decision losses. Can you, as a fighter, appeal those losses, or can you go back and say, can we look back at it again? Can you put in a request? Can you take us through how that process goes?
So one championship runs by the global rule set. So it's pretty much a little bit different to the unified rules, and it doesn't use the 10-point must system, which is popular in the boxing and UFC. So it's judged by the entirely of the bout. So let's say they're judging by prowess, aggression, control. So it's the person that's really controlling the fight and looking for ways to finish the fight. And technically the one that's fighting and trying to make the action happen, that's going to be scored higher than the person that's just not being passive. So So yeah, it's judged on a lot of things, and but yeah, I guess it's a little bit different, and there's a few great patches here and there. But I feel like in saying so, everything is so far so good.
Would you prefer it to be scored per round rather than over the whole fight?
No, I mean, I love one championship. I love the rule set. I love the weight cutting system. I love everything it represents. So no, I would be as is.
So if there is, for example, as a fighter, you would always feel when it goes to the judges that you might have on the fight. If, for example, the decision doesn't go your way, but you and your team see it differently, is there a process where you can appeal the loss? Is there a process where that can be, people can go back, revisit the fight, see the fight once again, and kind of change the decision?
Not to get too political, I mean, One Championship is an international company. It's from Singapore, so unless you have a sporting commission, for example, in Philippines they have a boxing commission. Yeah. They also have an MMA commission. In New Zealand we also have an MMA commission. So unless you really go through the processes and really go through it, and obviously file a complaint, and maybe they will turn some. I mean, they have recently turned a couple bouts over. So there can be something done about it, but obviously the more structured and professional way you approach it, the more likely you can get some results.
You mentioned a minute ago about the weight cutting in one. It does seem to be the way we certainly think is the way it should be. What are your thoughts on the weight cutting issues that seem to be happening week in, week out in the UFC? And tell us more about how it works in One Championship.
Yeah, so the old weight cutting, the water cutting system, I mean, I've been there. I mean, it's definitely not good. I mean, I would say that every weight cut that I'm cutting over 5, 6, 7 kilos of water, it's dehydrating my body so much that it's maybe taking a day to a week of my life away. I mean, ultimately, that's how I see it. So there's obviously very nutritional ways to do it now. I mean, there's Lockhart Nutrition, and there's a lot of nutritionists and people out there that can keep you well nutritioned throughout the whole process. So yeah, I mean, it's a daunting process, but it has to be done to make weight. But in saying so, you're seeing a lot of fighters now that is not cutting as much and just performing at their optimal and preferred weight. So at One Championship we have the gravity testing, and also we are tested three times a week, and all 3 times we've got to weigh the same, and we've got to pee on command, and our pee has got to pass the gravity rating. And yeah, that's our weight cutting process. There's no public weigh-in. We just do it 3 times a week and pass all 3 days, and boom, time to go.
When you say gravity, you mean it's testing your hydration, yeah?
Correct. Yeah. Hydration gravity test.
Yeah.
And obviously, you said you've cut weight before. Now you're much healthier, much happier. Do you prefer this kind of weight cuts to be implemented all across the board in MMA? Would you prefer that to happen?
It's surely the way to go. It's definitely the most healthiest way. It's showing great benefits for the fighters, and also the performances. There's no people gassing out as much, and it's becoming more explosive. All the fans would vouch that the shows are more exciting than some. UFC 226 was pretty cool, but one championship is pretty cool too.
Right. And you don't see as many fighters pulling out due to botched weight cuts as well.
Yeah, there's not too much of that. I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot behind the scenes that happen, and there's a lot of stresses, but I just focus on me and my team.
You talk about UFC 226. There's a couple of weight cutting issues there. Michael Chiesa said he thought he was going to die during his weight cut. He's obviously since said he's going to move up a weight. And Dan Hooker's also said, I'm probably sure you know pretty well, he said he thought he knocked out Gilbert Burns because he was dehydrated from his weight cut. That punch shouldn't have knocked out someone. So it just seemed like it is affecting, obviously, people's health and their performances. So just for me, a couple of times I've had a few conversations with our followers saying, is it going to take someone to die from weight cutting in the UFC for them to take drastic action to maybe go down the one championship route? What do you think?
I mean, they in Vegas, the Nevada Commission. I know they're looking into this weight cutting system already. I mean, there's states that's already looking into it. So it's not just a promotional thing. It is by the states that could help as well. But it's the way to go. I think it's just a matter of time before it gets that way. But yeah, I'm not sure how it was invented anyway. But to be honest, I mean, rules are rules. I think it does come down to the athletes. I mean, they're so serious to take an advantage or an edge that they're doing this to themselves. But is the suffering actually worth it though? Like, I mean, you're seeing Daniel Cormier, you're seeing Whitaker, you're seeing guys that's around their comfortable weight that's performing much more better than the guys that's cutting weight. So. But yeah, in saying so, there's a lot of guys that's got it down to the point. Like you say, Daniel Hooker. I mean, he's got a whole team of doctors, nurses, trainers, and guys working with him. That's calculating everything to its decimal point. So, I mean, it's good to know, man. I mean, it's definitely the level up there. And all of us martial artists are just striving every day to get better every day.
Absolutely. I just got to ask you about your foraying into mixed martial arts, because obviously you were born in Malaysia, brought up in New Zealand. So can you tell us, when you were growing up, who were the people that you were looking up to? Probably the fighters from New Zealand that you were looking up to.
All right. So I got into mixed martial arts 2 years after high school. So high school I was playing football. Even when I finished high school, I was playing football in university. And then after university, I was I lost track of my friends and I moved houses again, and I was pretty much starting anew. So it made sense to start an individual sport. And at that time, I was watching a lot of Fedor Emelianenko and Mark Hunt on Pride FC. So those are the guys who got me into it, really. I mean, I know it's not the best example, but you see these two chubby guys, they look relaxed, and then they punch people over, and then they get paid, and then they're happily ever after. I mean, if that's not inspiring, I mean, if they can do it, then I knew I could do it. So that is also the legacy I want to leave behind. If ever also is that if a Malaysian Kiwi guy that used to clean cars and put up posters and that can do what I do and beat up people, beat up world champions, beat up black belts, Olympic wrestlers, then anyone can.
Right. And
do you enjoy watching the fights as much as you do taking part in the fights?
I mean, we'll see this weekend. I mean, I always enjoy just the dynamics and the vibes of a fight night or the fight week. I mean, I love it, man. I mean, I can't believe this is my life now. I mean, I've envisioned this maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago. I used to say, man, if I could just travel the world through martial arts, I'll be so happy. And then I look at my life and I am doing it. I've already achieved. So there's definitely some ups and downs, and I'm just grateful and I'm enjoying the journey.
Has there ever been a conversation where you had to explain to someone that you literally punch someone in the face to make a living?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to explain it too much, but sometimes people will try to test themselves, or they try to have a go at me, or they I don't know, they just
inside the gyms or just outside anywhere.
Just anywhere. I mean, sometimes it's my friends, but yeah. I mean, then when it comes down to it, I just simply tell them I can get paid for this, so I don't need to do this with you. So so that normally gets the message going.
On a similar note, I think you commented on one of our posts yesterday about keyboard warrior. So often you're talking about the Sarkhan Gaki fight. How much do you experience that?
To be honest, I think I'm still on the quite positive and likeful kind of side of social media and the press. I mean, I don't even post that much, to be honest. I mean, I feel like I wanna be known for simply just my fights. I mean, I'm paid for those 15 minutes in that cage, so hopefully that's all they see. In saying so, I mean, I do want to help share my mindset and how and everything. That's why I'm on a podcast here with you guys, and I'm just trying to pass it on.
For sure. So we've talked to a lot of fighters who had kind of interesting stories, because the fighter life is unlike anything anyone ever experiences. Is there an instance as such that has happened to you which is funny, which you wouldn't probably hear when you talk about any other sport?
Yeah, I mean, martial arts is I mean, it's a way of life, and it is an art. So an art needs to be expressed. So martial arts has changed my life in a lot of ways. I mean, to the public eye, people think I'm crazy that I punch people and that's and I coach and I do a few jobs and that's my life. I mean, no one takes me serious. They think I'm some lunatic that's just going to be punch drunk by 30. But they don't know that this is science and I'm calculating everything by the millimeter. But yeah, so it's a crazy art, and it's definitely changed my life. It's helped me. I think it's the mindset. It makes you be present in time. It helps you appreciate things, and it helps you take things as it is. So I'm very grateful of the mindset and the lifestyle that has brought to me, and just being able to be peaceful and at the present time. I think martial arts has really helped me out with that, and I hope other people can also experience it sometimes.
Wonderful.
That's great. Talking to fans a minute ago, we don't normally do this kind of thing, but we've got one of our followers is probably your biggest fan. She's asking me every week can I ask you some questions? So she's asked me to ask you. Her name's Rachel Wynn. She's your biggest fan, and she's got 3 questions for you. I'm going to run by you.
Yeah.
First one's Rachel.
Yeah. She's a great girl. She came up to my fight in Myanmar with her mum, and she gave me a few local souvenirs and stuff. She was so cute. She started crying and stuff. I couldn't believe it. I mean, these fans. I mean, they remind me why I do what I do.
Well, she is lovely. I mean, this is her first question. It's a good one. What would you be doing if you weren't an MMA fighter?
I'll probably be a car dealer, just in my garage at the back. No, not a car dealer. I'll be a pro gamer. I'll be playing League of Legends for $5 million with my team of 4 friends. Yeah, I mean, I used to love gaming, so and the gaming industry is huge. And
are you on Twitch? Do you go on Twitch and stream your games?
No, I'm actually retired gamer, but 5 years ago I was pretty up there. But yeah, I mean, if I put all the hours and time I put in martial arts into gaming, I'm pretty sure I would have been up there somewhere.
Excellent. Next question is, what's your proper name?
So my Chinese name is Ting Sing. So if you were to translate that directly into English, it would mean ever new. So my Chinese name means I'm kind of new, always new kind of thing. So ever new is kind of special. My last name is Ting, Ting. And yeah, so ever new is kind of hard, so people just call me Ev.
Cool. And then the last question is, not sure if you'll know the answer to this, is what blood type do you have?
I got. Wait, this is from.
This is from Rachel. Yeah, this is my question. I mean, this is a true fan question.
This is kind of creepy, but it's true. Yeah. Mm.
I mean, Akhilesh, do you know what blood type you have?
Yeah, be positive.
You do. I do. I have no idea what type of blood I have. I just know it's red, and it's better off when it's inside my body.
Apparently, it's like star signs. You can like read a lot of traits from it. Well, I don't know, but
Really?
But so I think, do you know what your blood type is, or would you be willing to reveal that?
yeah, I think it's a O. I don't know if it's plus or minus, but it's a O something. Yeah, I mean that's a weird question. I mean, I hope she finds this informative.
I'm sure she will.
Also, I think it's her birthday either today or next Tuesday. I think she'd love it if you wish to happy birthday. It's next week, is it?
Oh no, you guys are just taking a piss.
No, this is legitimate fan questions.
I mean,
you will love us forever for this, the three of us.
I mean, Rachel, happy birthday. I mean, any other people out there having birthdays, happy birthday. This is the official podcast shout out.
All right, perfect. And if, do you know when your next fight is going to be, and do you have an inkling? Did one give you an inkling as to when that might be?
13th of July. So I'm hoping somebody kind of gets injured so I can jump in. I've got my mouth guard and my fight short, so I'm ready to go. But yeah. So I mean, all the bullshit aside, I'm due for my title shot, interim title, real title. Yeah. So I mean, if there's only two options really. I mean, it's either Martin Nguyen defends his title at lightweight, or he vacates it for the real guys that's waiting in line. I mean, those are the only two options that make sense. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and talk shit, but I mean, he's got a big fight coming up. Kevin is no joke, and I wish him all the best. But yeah, just a matter of time before he needs to decide. The ball's on his court.
How cool will it be to challenge him for the lightweight belt in KL this December?
Yeah, I mean that's the hints that's going around. I mean that's, but I mean I would love to get another fight in before then. I mean that will be a big fight, obviously. But yeah, I mean my job is to fight, so it's not to sit around for 6 months. But yeah, I mean whatever. I'm a contracted fighter, so whatever is clever, really. I mean I've never turned down a fight, so whatever they send through that email, I'm probably gonna sign it and make it happen. But yeah, I mean I'm good to go. I mean I'm feeling more readier than ever, and this time I'm not gonna let the opportunity slip through my hands.
Brilliant.
Wonderful. So it can be any time from next week till the end of the year. Any time when one says you're good to go, this is your fight, you're gonna take it.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah. I mean, in the car park, if somebody paid me what I'm getting paid,
Cool. Well, Ev, thank you for joining us today. Hope you enjoy the fights Friday night in KL, and obviously we can't wait to see you inside the cage again.
All right, cool. Thank you guys for your work, and have a great rest of your week. Thanks for having me.
Cheers.